Welcome to the deep dive. We plunge into complex stories, really get to the heart of them for you.
Yeah, bring you those key insights.
And today we're starting with this really stark contrast. Picture it. New York City, high society, September 1939. You've got the, scent of slack water from the East River, galas happening, and then halfway across the world.
Lublin, Poland. German dive bombers overhead, white crosses under the wings, bombs falling.
Exactly. It's this moment where three women, completely different lives, are about to get pulled into this massive conflict.
That's our mission today, really, to unpack these interconnected lives. We have an American socialite, a humanitarian,
Caroline Ferriday,
then a young Polish survivor,
Kasia Kuzmerick,
and a German doctor, Herta Oberheuser. Their choices, their resilience, these unexpected connections, it all tells us something profound about humanity under pressure.
It's not just dates and facts, is it? It's about compassion, complicity, courage, all mixed up together.
Precisely. A real journey.
Okay, let's dive in. Part 1. The World on the Brink, 1939-1940, starting with Caroline in New York.
Right. Caroline Ferriday. She did nearly 20 years on Broadway. Quite the career.
Oh, retired, right. And focusing on her charity.
Yeah, the French Families Fund. Sending comfort boxes, mostly to French orphans overseas. A real passion project.
September 39, she's working at the French consulate. Great view, apparently. Rockefeller Plaza.
That's the one. Looking out at that huge golden Prometheus statue, holding the fire. Quite the backdrop.
But even there, you get these little hints of what's coming, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Like the elevator guy, Cuddy. Just casually mentions 2 new boats in, refugees arriving.
And Caroline's dealing with French citizens who've fallen on hard times. That work was about to get, a lot more intense.
Hugely intense.
Yeah.
And that same evening, her first consulate gala. Big deal event.
Mrs. Cornelius Vanderbilt was there. Her Grace.
Yep, her Grace, dripping in Cartier diamonds. 4 stories worth, apparently. Talk about privilege right before the storm hits.
But the main speaker cancels. Foreign Minister Bonnet.
Unexpectedly, yeah.
Yeah.
Total scramble.
Yeah.
But Caroline, quick thinking. Ropes in this Broadway actor, M. Paul Rodier.
Paul Rodier. He becomes important.
Very. And his speech. Wow. To stand up then and basically tell the U.S. it needed to help France get planes.
In that climate, super isolationist America.
Exactly. You can just imagine the reporters scribbling away. It was bold. Really bold.
Definitely makes an impression. And you mentioned there was more to their connection, Caroline and Paul.
Figure hints, yeah. This little tradition with champagne, he'd overpour it, dabs him behind her ear. Kind of intimate.
But complicated. Visa problems for Paul.
Lucky time. And Caroline's boss, Roger Fortier, basically told him, look, if you go back to France now, you're stuck there. A stark warning.
And Caroline's own life wasn't exactly simple, was it? Her friend Betty.
Ah, Betty. Rita Hayworth vibes. Described as being like a train accident or a dancing bear. Couldn't look away.
Sound memorable.
Definitely. And she gave Caroline pretty blunt advice about men. Keep things quiet. Plus, it was leftover tension about Betty's brother, David Stockwell, and Caroline.
Right. And it seems Paul Rodier had this charm that could just take over a room, even save a failing party.
Oh, completely. Caroline's mother was hosting this fête dansant for white Russians. Total flop initially. Barely anyone there.
Beep, oops.
Big oops. But then Paul arrives with his entire cast from the streets of Paris. Just walks in.
No way.
See the whole event. Show just how connected and, charming he was.
Okay, so while Caroline's navigating that world, we jump to Lublin, Poland, Kasia Kuzmerick. Totally different reality.
Completely different. 1939, she's just a schoolgirl, St. Monica's Catholic School for Girls.
And her best friend, Nadia.
Nadia was Jewish. And even before the invasion, they faced harassment. Street boys throwing rocks, calling names.
Awful. But they had a friend looking out for them,
Petrick, yeah. He tried to protect them. But then, September 1st, everything changed.
The invasion, those dive bombers Cassie saw, white crosses under the wings. Bombing the main street. Krakowski Przesadniczy and Crown Court, where her sister volunteered.
Instant terror. Childhood just gone. Smashed.
And the aftermath was immediate, wasn't it? Her father.
Papa.
Yeah.
Urgently burning files from the post office. Names, addresses, stuff the Germans would definitely want.
And when Casa asked about the staff there.
Just silence. Grim silence. You know what that meant.
Chilling. And her mother, Matka. She had German roots.
From Osnabrück, yes. Which meant the Nazis pressured her to register as Volksdeutsch, ethnic German. Get benefits, better treatment.
But she refused.
courageously refused.
Yeah.
Said German people were cultured, implying the Nazis weren't, even when an SS guard offered her a pink pass, basically, a pass to break curfew in exchange for the fall.
God.
She turned him down flat. An incredible act of defiance right there.
Absolutely. Just quiet personal bravery against this huge machine. And Cassie started her own quiet resistance, too.
Little things at first. Leaving secret notes for Nadia at a stone wall. Finding Nadia's dog, Felka, starving at her abandoned house. Taking her in.
And then her first proper underground mission.
Meeting a woman named Wiola Janina Grabowski, really to deliver a telephone book, for someone named Konrad Zagoda. She even had to recite the Grey Ranks Oath.
Which was?
Basically pledging her life, sacrifice everything, heavy stuff for a teenager.
Incredibly heavy. Okay, so we've seen New York society, occupied Poland, now inside Germany itself, Herta Oberheuser?
Right, her family life under the Nazis. There were already strange contradictions. Her father, for instance.
What about him?
He actually went to a Jewish treater of the sick at Dr. Katz for treatment, even though it was strictly forbidden for Aryans. A little act of defiance there.
Interesting, but persecution was visible elsewhere.
Oh, yeah. Her Aunt Ilse's name showed up on the Pringer list, public shaming list for women who shopped at Jewish stores.
Wow. And Herta's mother?
Her mother saw this display of so-called Jew art, confiscated art. There was a painting of two men embracing, stabbed through with a spear.
Horrible.
And Muti was just dismissive. Father disapproved of the desecration, but Muti, she actually justified seizing Jewish property, claimed Jews don't work.
That's chilling, how easily that justification comes.
It really is. Shows how ideology can just warp everything. And Herta herself, well, she was already involved in something pretty disturbing at her uncle's butcher shop.
Uncle Heinz, what was she doing?
Making lamb intestines.
For condom production.
For condoms. Seriously.
Seriously. Even her Aunt Ilsa was shocked when she found out. It's one of those mundane details that just shows how entangled people got in the regime's machinery.
And Herta wanted to be a doctor, aiming high.
Very high. Wanted a university position, ideally, not just some skin clinic job. She had ambitions.
Okay, let's move into part 2. The shadow deepens. 1940 to 42, back to Caroline in New York. Things get worse at the consulate, right? Much worse. Spring 1940, France falls. Phone lines cut. Utter despair. Even her boss, Roger Fortier, usually so composed. He was genuinely scared. You could see it.
And Caroline, how did she handle this escalating crisis, especially with her focus on the orphans?
She just doubled down, really. Poured everything into those comfort boxes, even though she was under strict orders not to use her own money.
She ignored that.
Seems like it. She was driven.
Yeah.
And we also see this personal side emerge more strongly. Her trying to adopt a child.
Right, but she faced obstacles.
Big time. Bureaucracy, societal views. Single women weren't really allowed to adopt then. Plus, friends like Priscilla making selfish requests. It was frustrating.
And this tied into her own past.
Yeah, her own background, her feelings about growing up. Well, she strongly believed no child should be fatherless. It was deeply personal for her.
And her mother was helping.
Tirelessly. Their home basically became a depot for donated clothes. Closets full. Her mother also held on to this deep connection to their old family cottage on Gin Lane. Shared grief, shared purpose.
But underneath all that activity, the question of Paul Rodier must have lingered. What happened to him?
Constantly. That uncertainty, not hearing anything, it must have been a persistent ache for Caroline.
Okay, now the starkest contrast. Kasia, her descent into Ravensbrück.
Yeah, the journey itself. Just chilling. Going past Furstenberg, seeing those women gaunt, forced to push this huge concrete roller, guards with Alsatians lunging.
That's timid, just terrifying.
And arrival was immediate dehumanization.
Yeah.
Stripped naked. All your little personal things, handkerchief, watch, maybe some aspirin gone, into a yellow envelope. Your identity just confiscated.
And then that moment with Mrs. Mikulski's baby, Jagoda.
Oh, God, yes. The guards just took the baby, snatched her away, even though Mrs. Mikulski and Cassie were desperately saying the father was German, hoping that would save her.
Didn't
matter. Utterly brutal. Unimaginable cruelty.
And life inside. Block 32.
Putrid. Smelled awful, like a chicken coop. Unwashed bodies. And survival hinged on tiny things. Like guarding your mess kit. Lose that and you might not eat. Simple as that.
Christmas 1941 must have been bleak.
Incredibly bleak. Letters from Papa would arrive, but so heavily censored. Sometimes only "your loving Papa" was left. Blacked out words. Psychological torture, really. Designed to break you.
And the physical brutality continued. Mrs. Mikulski again.
Beaten horribly by the head wardress, Binz, and her dog, Adelige. Her crime, having a piece of newspaper.
Just for a newspaper.
Yeah. But Kasia, even after seeing that, she had this flash of defiance. Binns' assistant, Irma, made some crack about Poles being bad at math.
And Kasia said,
"At least I can count." Right back at her. Small act, but huge courage in that context.
But that defiance, it had consequences, didn't it? Led to the experiment.
It seems connected, yeah. Soon after, Kasia and other Polish women were selected for the sulfonamide experiments. They became the rabbits.
Króliki, Lapins, Versuchskaninchen, the Nazi terms.
Exactly. Guinea pigs. The descriptions are horrific. Legs cut open, infected, packed with dirt or wood splinters sometimes, put in casts, constant maddening itching.
And some died, like Louisa.
Louisa's death. Kasia described it. Whole body stiff, backs arched. Just absolute agony. There's your depravity of using people like this. It's staggering.
And this is where Herta Oberheuser comes in, as a doctor at Ravensbrück.
Yes.
Yeah.
Initially, she apparently tried to refuse the post, said she didn't want to be the only woman doctor.
But she took it.
She took it, joined this quote-unquote elite group of doctors, worked closely with Dr. Gebhardt.
And they were involved in what policies?
High-flying ones, like Vernichtung durch Arbeit, death by labor, basically plant starvation, work them until they drop.
And the injections?
Cyanide, usually, given as a supposed favor to those too sick to work anymore, calling them sick dogs.
Did Herta perform these injections?
Yes. The first time, she described injecting an old woman. The woman struggled. Herta felt physically sick afterwards. But she did it, crossed the line.
Became complicit.
Actively complicit.
Yeah.
And she developed coping mechanisms. Odd ones.
Like what?
Working on scrapbooks in her office. Collecting newspaper clippings about German military victories. Retreating into this sanitized version of reality.
But psychiatrists observed the staff, right? Wilmer Hartmann.
Yes, a psychiatrist came to observe. Hartmann noted Herta seemed systematically desensitized, experiencing psychic numbing.
Psychic numbing. That sounds accurate in a horrifying way.
It's the mind trying to protect itself, maybe. But by shutting down empathy, allowing these atrocities to continue, a monstrous kind of coping.
Okay, part 3. Amidst all this darkness, glimmers of hope, seeds of resistance, 1943-44, Caroline in New York, still fighting.
Relentlessly, selling war bonds at Grand Central Terminal. There's that funny story about the organist there, Mary Lee Reed.
Oh, yeah. What happened?
She got banned for playing the Star-Spangled Banner. Apparently, it brought the whole station concourse to a complete standstill every time.
Huh. Shows how deep the war feeling went. But Caroline's main worry was still Paul Rodier.
Absolutely. She eventually heard he'd been arrested, might be sent to Natzweiler Schutzhof, a really brutal camp.
How does she find out?
Roger Fortier confirmed it. And he gave her this cryptic hint, suggested Paul was involved much deeper in the resistance than she knew.
That must have been agony, knowing he was in danger, maybe involved in something dangerous.
Excruciating.
Huh.
But Caroline, she just kept going, kept up her work, didn't give up hope on him. Remarkable resilience.
Meanwhile, inside Ravensbrück, Kasia finds some inner strength, even at Christmas 43.
Yeah, another grim Christmas, those censored letters from Papa, again, just your loving Papa, soul-destroying. But then, this incredible thing happened.
What was that?
An electrician, Herr Fenstermacher.
Yeah.
They called him the window maker.
Yeah.
He'd come into the barracks to fix things, and he would secretly sing French songs. But the lyrics, they were based on newspaper headlines he'd seen. He was smuggling news in.
No way. Singing the news.
Singing the news about the Normandy invasion, other events, a tiny thread to the outside world. An incredible act of quiet resistance itself.
That's amazing bravery. Just astonishing. And didn't she get a package from her father that Christmas, too?
Yes. A miracle, really. A package arrived containing a poppy seed cake mostly intact and a spool of red thread.
Red thread? What did that mean?
It was a secret message. Confirmation that Papa had received, understood a coded letter Kasia had managed to send out.
Oh, wow. So he knew she was alive, knew what she was trying to tell him.
Exactly. That little spool of thread meant everything. She wasn't alone. Someone knew. Profound joy in the middle of hell.
Incredible. And then Nadia reappeared. Her friend.
Yes, Nadia turned up in the camp. Shocking physical state, obviously, but still somehow optimistic, even after her mother, Mrs. Watroba, got caught.
How did Nadia react to seeing Kasia's leg after the experiments?
She just noted it looked withered and shrunken. Matter of fact, almost. But that optimism, it was something.
But then things got dangerous again. A rabbits roundup.
Terrifying. Binns, Surin, and Dr. Oberheuser herself came through, personally selecting prisoners, trying to get rid of the evidence, maybe.
And Kasia had to think fast.
Very fast. She remembered some French phrases she'd picked up from another prisoner, Janina, who used to work in a hair salon.
Mm-hmm.
She used them on Dr. Winkelmann, trying to pretend she wasn't Polish, wasn't one of the rabbits.
Did it work?
It seemed to help confuse things, buy time.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly this chance for escape. A bus heading to Sweden, part of a rescue operation.
He got on it.
She got on. But even the escape was chaotic. Allied bombing nearby. The earth shook, rocking the bus, and the lake lit up like a camera flash. Just imagine the fear and hope all mixed together.
Wow. Talk about dramatic. Okay, Herta Oberheuser. Her reckoning is coming, right?
It is. The experiments weren't staying secret. Word was getting out. Especially this SWIT broadcast.
What was that?
A broadcast from the Polish government in exile in London. They explicitly called the experiments vivisection. Named names.
So the Allies knew?
They knew. And Surin, the camp commandant, got really worried. He knew these women, the rabbits, were walking evidence of their crimes. Living proof.
Which leads to Nuremberg, the doctor's trial.
Exactly. Herta was put on trial along with other doctors. She tried to defend herself, denied doing the experiments for awards or prestige, claimed there were similar U.S. experiments.
But the key difference was consent, wasn't it?
Consent. The Ravensbrück victims never consented. That was crucial. The defense didn't hold up.
So the verdict?
Guilty. Dr. Gebhardt got the death sentence. Herta Oberheuser was sentenced to 20 years for war crimes. Justice of a sort was catching up.
Okay, part 4. After the war. The Scars, The Search for Meaning, 1945 to 1959. Paris is liberated. Caroline must have been overjoyed.
Ecstatic. And then Paul Rodier returned from Natzweiler, gaunt, shaved head, physically and emotionally scarred. A mix of relief and, well, shock at what he'd endured.
And there was another survivor with an incredible story, Rena.
Rena's story is unbelievable. Survived a mass grave shooting at Majdanek, crawled out from under the bodies, was found and nursed back to health by a German farmer couple. Just
Unbelievable resilience.
Yeah, well,
And Caroline started nursing Paul back to health, using family remedies.
yeah, these old Woolsey remedies. Things like egg and soda water beaten into wine, beef tea, milk punch, rice with molasses, comforting traditional things against this modern horror he'd survived.
Did Paul talk about what happened?
Reluctantly, painfully. He mentioned Drancy, seeing children torn from their mothers, and Natzweiler, the deaths from cold, the altitude sickness, horrors he clearly struggled to articulate.
And their reunion in Paris. There was a surprise.
A huge surprise.
Yeah.
Paul introduced Caroline to his daughter, Pascaline, stage name Lena. And it turns out Lena played Balthazar on stage.
A role Caroline once played.
Exactly, which led to this incredible moment. Paul says something like, "Father," and Lena replies, "Yes, Miss Caroline Ferriday, Lena Rodier," just connecting all these threads across time.
Wow. So after the war, Caroline's mission became the Raditz.
Entirely. She launched this passionate campaign to help the Ravensbrück survivors. Initially, people were skeptical, saw her as just a literary magazine type, a club woman.
Underestimated her.
Totally. But then she started showing graphic photos of the women's leg injuries. That changed everything. Yeah. Public support just exploded.
Where did help come from?
Everywhere. Donations from Hawaii, Las Vegas, gifts from Converse Rubber Company shoes, presumably, Lane Bryant clothing, even Disneyland passes. A huge outpouring.
It shows the power of making people see the reality, and the medical exams confirmed the horrors.
Absolutely. Details came out, like Mrs. Bukowski's surgeries. They deliberately introduced bacteria, wood splinters, glass into the wounds, caused gas gangrene. Just barbaric.
Poor Susanna, Kasia's sister.
Heartbreaking. They discovered she'd been forcibly sterilized at the camp. And worse, she had advanced stomach cancer, a fatal Virchow's node. The damage was permanent. Fatal.
But Caroline also found some personal joy. Adoption.
Yes, she adopted Julian, a 10-month-old French orphan. A new focus, new hope. And little Julian was actually part of Susanna and Serge's wedding.
Susanna got married, even knowing she was ill.
Yes. A wedding at Caroline's place in Connecticut, the Hay. It was this beautiful, bittersweet mix. Polish traditions, like pinning money to Susanna's dress.
Mixed with American generosity. Betty gave a gift.
Betty gave them the Woolsey oyster forks from Caroline's great-grandmother. A real connection back through the family history. New beginnings, even alongside the deepest scars.
Okay, Kasia's journey after the war, back to Lublin. But it wasn't easy, was it?
Not at all. Poland was communist-controlled now. Stalinist policies meant food shortages, suspicion, especially towards former underground members like Kasia.
So she had to keep a low profile, even though she was a survivor, a resistance fighter.
Yeah, there was even suspicion towards the rabbits. Some people saw them as contaminated by fascism just for having survived the experiments. Awful. So she focused on healing, building a life with Pietrek, who also needed to recover. They had a daughter, Helena.
Helena, And she became an artist.
The talented one. But one painting she did, of Matka, Kasia's mother, wearing a wreath of thorns. It hit Kasia hard. Triggered all that unresolved trauma.
Understandable. Did that cause friction with Pietrek?
It did. He was worried about Kasia, worried about the effect Helena's art was having. It forced Kasia to confront things.
Which led her to consider surgery in America.
Yes, for her leg, that withered and shrunken leg from the experiments.
Yeah.
Caroline offered to help arrange it, but Kasia hesitated, leaving Zuzanna.
Who was dying?
Exactly. But Zuzanna incredibly encouraged her, said, if I'm going to die, I'll want you near me, but go, do this for yourself. Such selflessness.
Wow. So Kasia went.
She went. Caroline welcomed her warmly. The surgery was a success. She could finally walk like a normal person. Plastic surgery smoothed out her calf. She even got a new tooth, could smile freely again. Real physical liberation.
And she spent Christmas at the Hay.
Yes, with Caroline and her mother. Mrs. Ferriday was apparently wonderful, even wore a Polish folk costume, fussed over them. Like finding a new family, a safe harbor.
But Kasia still had unfinished business, didn't she? With Herta Oberheuser.
That was the final step, maybe. Finding peace meant confronting the past. She decided to go to Germany, to Stocksy, as a cultural ambassador. The cover, really to meet Herta, must have taken immense courage. Trepidation, but resolve.
And Herta, what was her situation post-prison?
Shockingly comfortable. She got out early, somehow, returned to medical practice, living in luxury. Oriental carpets, expensive furniture.
Practicing medicine again, after Nuremberg.
Yes, though her framed diplomas apparently didn't include surgery. A telling omission.
So the confrontation, Kasia meets Herta. How did it go?
Tense. Herta was initially dismissive, cold, denied knowing Kasia's daughter, Helena, but then she slipped up.
Oh.
Kasia had just said Helena was an artist, but Herta mentioned sketched portraits. How would she know that unless she did know Helena or had seen her work somehow?
Ah, cracking the facade.
Exactly. And it led to this chilling confession. Herta reluctantly admitted how Kasia's mother, Matka, died, confirmed she was in that group shot, and pushed into the mass grave, but somehow survived, crawled out, just like Rena.
My God, Matka survived the execution.
Survived the execution, but died later. Herta confirmed it. Finally, the truth.
And Kasia did something symbolic with Herta's ring.
Powerful moment. She took Herta's ring off, revealed that pale strip of skin underneath where the ring had been for years. Then Kasia put the ring on her own finger.
What did that signify, do you think?
Taking back control, claiming some part of the truth. Hard to say exactly, but deeply symbolic. And Herta. She actually said something remorseful.
Really? What?
I would buy her back if I could.
Ah.
A flicker of humanity, maybe. Too little, too late, but something.
And how did Kasia feel leaving?
Lighter, she described, no longer craving the vibration of the slam of Herta's door. A release. Finding the truth, however horrific, brought a kind of peace.
And the final image, driving back to Lublin.
Passing the grave of Felka, the dog she rescued years ago. And there, Caroline's lilacs, sent years before, were thriving, blooming.
A symbol of healing, connection, life going on.
All of that, I think, bringing these incredible intertwined stories full circle.
Just extraordinary journeys. Caroline, Kasia, Herta. War, survival, human spirit pushed to its absolute limits. Their choices, good and bad, echoing across decades, across continents.
Absolutely. And knowing these stories, even the really difficult parts, it gives you perspective, doesn't it, on challenges today. It shows the power of individual actions, for good or ill. Every choice has ripples.
It really does. Which leaves us with a final thought, perhaps. When you're faced with the unimaginable, what does it really take to find justice, to offer forgiveness? And maybe hardest of all, to find some kind of peace within yourself?